Oh no, what do we have here? Looks like fans of Manifest manifested, and Netflix answered their calling. After a cancellation scare in 2021, the supernatural show that took off in September 2018 has been renewed for its fourth and final season. And it would be an understatement to say that fans are devastated. Let's dive right into what the fans have to say about saying goodbye to television's most twisty show. Almost slipped away. In June 2021, when NBC announced they would be dropping the show, the turbulence it caused among fans was similar to the one those on board Montego Air Flight 828 experienced. But along came Netflix, swooping right in as it picked up the show and gained a ton of fans, including us, making it a hit, and rightly so. Even the Kardashians couldn't stop talking about it. Sisters Kim and Khloe proved that to us after all. Our quarantine experiences were pretty much the same, you know? Just binged watch shows until one eventually gets bored of being bored. But alas, the odds worked in our favor. The Stokes family were our best kept secret, and gatekeeping them any further would mean never seeing them again. And we wouldn't want that now, would we? Now, a flight down memory lane. Now, as Netflix prepares to nicely wrap up the series in 20 episodes, and we sure hope those 20 episodes will be long, let's take a trip down memory lane. Or should we say runway, shall we? And see just what madness awaits us as the show resumes airing in late 2022. Be careful, there's some serious spoilers ahead, so if you're in the midst of your binge watch, we suggest you stop right here before moving on. So far, we know that if you're on board Flight 828, then you probably have the worst luck in the world. Don't get us wrong, a cheap air ticket is music to our ears too, but a 5.5-year commute? Yeah, I think we'll stick to Uber here. It's no surprise the show reeled in massive viewership following its premise. Was it God? Was it magic? Or was it the government? These are the questions swirling in our head while we try to think of the ways why a routine flight from Jamaica to the Big Apple would land almost 5 years later. It just didn't make sense. And little did we know, it would never make sense, even after 3 seasons. Next, a manifesto for the times, and one for the crimes. Now, while the intriguing plot of a disappearing plane reeled us all in and got most of us hooked, admittedly, the show does have some flaws. While it has given us tear-jerking moments when the passengers return to their routine lives after 5 years, it has given us headaches when it comes to plot twists. Post-return of The Real World, the main lead, Ben Stokes, a genius mathematics college professor, and his sister, Michelle Stone, a detective at the 129th Precinct in NYPD, find each other in the middle of nowhere because a voice led them there. They call it the calling, and apparently all passengers experience a calling that is unique to them. Visions and voices that only they can hear that feel like someone's talking to them from the future. Having no memory of their lives up in the air altogether, the brother-sister duo piece together the experiences of the passengers and try to make sense of the time lost. But the answers aren't easy for them to find, and as they run into bad guys every step of the way, masked behind facades of good guys, much like how it is for us in the real world. It's all connected. If there's one thing we can be sure of, even if the twists boggle our minds to oblivion, then it's the fact that nothing in this show is a coincidence, which is a given, since obviously things in a show have to have a connection between them, otherwise it's just bad writing. But when our boy Ben starts to hear it's all connected over and over again, we can't help but feel sorry for him. First, he gets on the wrong flight. Then, he loses his prime years to the clouds. And on top of that, when he comes back to the real world, he has no memory of the time lost? And that's not all. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface here. He's out there solving murders with a severely ill son, and he also has to cope with the fact that his wife moved on during the time he was apparently dead. Talk about a trauma overload. If there's an Olympics for the most broken characters, we think Ben Stokes is a strong contender. Now, details. If you're an avid follower of the show, you know the writers miss nothing. From the dark thunder during the turbulence to the underlying themes of Christianity and Noah's Ark to even gemstones. Yes, Yes, gemstones. It's been theorized in Season 3 that something common that the passengers shared could have been the fact that they all might have sapphire in their blood. That seems cool, right? We think so too. Next, hanging by a cliffhanger. By now, it's pretty clear we're thanking all higher powers that we don't have to move on from Manifest without any closure. Season 3 ended on an excruciating cliffhanger, and one can only hope the writers find a way to tie the story together as per the audience's liking. But would it even be a typical episode of Manifest if it wasn't for some twists and turns? From kidnapping baby Eden to killing Grace, Angelica sure is in the running for the worst character ever. But it was the appearance of Captain Daly in the cockpit that surprised us the most. Cal's journey has been a roller coaster of emotions, and him touching the tail fin only to disappear and come back 5.5 years older was bittersweet to watch, because he was too late to save his own mother. Secrets were also revealed, as they do in every Manifest finale. Jared learns a shocking truth about Sanvi and Vance, and he now has to debate the internal struggle of telling the truth to Sarah. Otherwise, he can't save his relationship, no matter how much he pretended everything was peachy. So, what's next? Well, many fans have rambled all over social media about the potential the upcoming 20-episode season has. Some believe Cal committed suicide by merging the two parallel worlds as one when he touched the tail fin. They say that since he was already dead in the real world, his disappearance in the fake one was actually his death. And if that's the case, then maybe we should order that extra box of tissues just in case. Another fan wonders about the possibility of the death day amount as a difference between the timelines in each parallel universe, which, come to think of it, seems highly likely since now we're open to multiple timelines and universes, don't you think? Whatever is the case, one thing is for certain. It's all connected in more ways than one. And now for other news. There are no plans to change the end of the show. While originally the creator Jeff Rake wrote down the story for a 6-season show, unfortunately our passengers were destined for a 4-season ride. However, Rake does not plan to change the original end of the show. Who can we expect to see in Season 4? As the passengers booked one last flight to the madness that is the Manifest universe, we're so excited to see Josh Dallas and Melissa Roxburgh back on our screens. No one could have perfected our stone-cold siblings the way these two have, and we're very excited to have them back on board one last time. Fan favorite character Zeke Landon, played by Matt Long, is also in talks about reprising his role, saying he would accumulate as much of his time as he could to the show. Steal our hearts. Him saying that is good enough for us. Is Netflix responsible for the recent success of the show? NBC has never been clear about dropping the show. However, since most of our favorite shows face the same fate, it's not a surprise the show was almost put to dust because of a drop in ratings. From 12 million viewers in Season 1 to almost half of that number in Season 3, NBC did not want to take the risk by airing more seasons. However, Netflix recognized the sheer brilliance the show is, and since its adaptation, the show has heard nothing but rave reviews from the general public. When can we actually manifest the end? Although a tentative date has been floating around social media, showrunners still haven't decided when we will see our favorite faces again. Maybe it's because of scheduling conflicts, or maybe they're trying to right their wrongs and bring back Grace and baby Eden. Maybe not Grace, but baby Eden did nothing wrong, but we guess that's for you to decide when we finally see them all on our screens again. Hopefully this fall. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the return of the Stones? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give a video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.